Patrick, congratulations on the film
Thank you so much, Eric.
and
Thanks
nice
for,
stash, by the way.
yeah. The first time I worked with one was on the Duel. I think I shaved it off. I grew it for a horror comedy film for a guy named Tank. That's why I grew it again. And we haven't shot that yet. So now I've just kind of been wandering around with this thing, and I think it's actually become a part of me. Not in love with it. I love it for character. It's fun.
Yeah, I mean
But
it's definitely a look.
yeah, it's different.
Yeah. So let's get jump into the duel. Tell me a little bit what is it that attracted you to this script? I mean, it's got a pretty interesting premise. Um, Talk a little bit about, what it is about the script that spoke to you.
Well, I did feel like it had an interesting premise. You always look at your character and you wonder, who am I going to play in the midst of this premise? But I liked the character and like where the story went. Felt like there was some intrigue. I love a good dark comedy, which I think has different elements, and that will inherently have some intrigue, which is imperative. At the same time, it can be entertaining. I thought it looked like it could be a great ride. And as it turns out, it was. Um, it's fantastic that we are where we are. This was a little film made by brand new writers, directors, but these guys are so talented and there was already hype around them before they made this. And to have made, their first picture together and have Lionsgate say, we're going to take this indie and bump it up and put it on 500 screens is a huge deal, and that just doesn't happen. So I felt like read this one right.
Yeah. How is that? So you're so good at this kind of a little bit off dark humor. A lot of your roles, you kind of hit that kind of sweet spot right there. Um, how do you do that? How do you find that humor that's kind of somewhere in there between the lines, uh, and just play it in a way that's very I can't even describe it. It's very straight in a way, but you get the humor across.
Well, in navigating a role like this and from scene to scene throughout it, I know it bothers me when I see somebody and I know and I can see the choices they're making and can see what they're trying to do. And that always kind of takes me out of it. So I try not to do that. I think that it's important. We do have to make choices, but we have to be able to disguise our work. You can't see the work, and it has to be organic. So if Christoph, who is the most unlikely character of this film, is goofy, it's a little non sequitur. It doesn't really. Well, where does it play? How much does it play? And you figure out, well, this has to be really very measured because if it's not measured, then it's too much. Maybe it's little. What's the right amount of seasoning? All these things. So, and you figure that out, and then you're like, all right, I believe this guy. I believe this is a real guy. But you can go huge. I mean, look at what Michael Richards did in Seinfeld. That his character was as big as a circus clown. Yet you
Yeah.
believe everything because he filled it. That was, it's crazy when you can do something
Yeah.
that anyways.
Yeah, but it's interesting because you kind of take it in a different direction. You sort of underplay it in a way, and that's what's sort of so funny
Yeah.
about what you do, which is Michael Rich is a perfect, kind of opposite take on it
Yes.
because
Yes.
he's so over the top, and you're so like
Well,
under.
sure. Yeah. And that's exactly how we were on the show, Buddy, we couldn't have been more, down here. And Kramer's bouncing off walls and slamming through doorways. Yeah.
So you get to work with two young hot actors, Dylan and Callan, in the film. Uh, Give me a little flavor of what it was like to work with these guys.
I'm just gonna say right now that Denny and Hart are gonna feel really hurt that they weren't mentioned as young finalists. I just want to say, Denny, Hart, you're hot in my book. But I don't care what Eric says. Uh, oh yeah, yeah. Both those guys do just exude, charm. That's why a lot of this is just sort of heartbreaking. Best friends in the world. It's betrayal. It's tragic consequence. Yeah, but I love working with him. I think Dylan's really, he is talented. He's a talented actor, and
Yeah.
it's tough to navigate transfer from kid actor because we don't see that happen often. He is an exception to the truly. That's why he works so much. That's such a great future ahead of
Talk a little bit about the film's obviously, about male honor and kind of a modern take on that whole concept, which is pretty big idea. What do you think the film has to say about that subject?
Well, it holds up the mirror to that subject, and it makes us all, when we watch it, we could, you know, assess and make our own judgments as to the behavior of men and how men can get caught down this rabbit hole, chismo, and what we're supposed to do, and pressure, and would I find myself in that situation? Would I end up going that far? What's interesting with this film is that you see how both of those men get there, and and that the mistakes that men can make throughout history, world leaders, those in power, those who are on a pedestal for one way or another, power. It's just, don't you see the end game? Don't you see where this is going? But we have blinders on, and so wrapped up, whether it be in rage or hurt or this or that. That's your answer, Julian. We live in obviously in a much different time. Julian. It's quite common for centuries. It was common to purchase
Yeah.
swords and guns, and now it's just not. That's why Christoph's business is under the table because it's illegal, and they find it. He is more than happy to mentor and enable these two guys.
Patrick, I love hearing all your stories. Thank you so much. Congratulations on the film.
Thank you, Eric. Really appreciate that.
Take care. It's a pleasure.
Take care.
Thanks for watching the You Interview channel. With over 3,000 original celebrity videos, we have one of the largest collections of celebrity interviews anywhere. So remember to like and comment on our videos and subscribe to the channel. If you want to get more involved, you can become a member of the channel. Membership has its perks. You can see exclusive celebrity videos and get the opportunity to ask our celebrity guests questions. We can't wait to hear from you.